Welcome to my office. Profesora Peña here. Thank you for making it to office hours. Take a seat. Today I'm going to be putting you on game because there's no gatekeeping here. And I'm going to teach you what I've learned about making content in the last 2 months. As someone that's, we could say, a millennial, so not as nimble with the technology. Let's get started. You ever look at these YouTube influencers and say, how long have you been at this? 5 years. Yeah, you're giving me game, but I need the short term playbook, my guy. And that's what I'm here to give you today. So let's get into it. This here is going to be the hardest part of your entire journey. The first step to this whole YouTube journey is none other than the first step. It's cheesy, but it's true. The first step in the journey is always the hardest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. So if you don't take that first step in the journey, you're going to be always wondering what if, and that's almost more painful of a journey to go down than just doing what it is that you want to do and that your heart and soul is asking you to do. So can you please just listen to your highest self and go do it? Okay, so now that we're done with that one, get started. Okay, get started. And when you do, let me know down below because I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Yes. Okay, anyways. The next thing you have to do is take yourself a good dose of I don't give a. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us be giving too many of those to people that don't really matter to us. And that's just dusty. Like, what does what other people think of you have to do with you? Like, that's not my problem that you think that of me. Because that's the Jessica that you saw yesterday. And today's a new day. And I'm trying to honor my highest self and change to be more like her. So, like, you don't know me. You know who I was. Okay? The next thing you need to do is build a plan. Okay? Do you even have a plan of action? Do you know what the end goal is without knowing any of the steps on the way there? Look, the reality is as a student, you had a teacher and a parent, right? This teacher told you what you needed to do to make them happy and give you an A, right? And your parents were happy when you came home with an A, so you didn't get yelled at or spanked, or maybe you got money. Who knows? There's gentle parenting and then what my mom did, but love my mom. She's great. So what you need to do is really create a plan and a structure to be successful, because without a game plan, honey, how are you going to do what it is you desire to do? You need to know the end goal and a few of the steps to get there, or you're never going to get it done. Okay, so let's make sure we create a plan. If you need help creating a plan or having like a structure for what you want to do to start a video, go down below. I shared a Google Slides with you that has like a mind map that kind of follows a sequential order, which helps me put some ideas in place and lets me move them around, because I personally am a visual learner and that's how I remember things. So check that out if you want a structure for how to set up a YouTube video and get some ideas on like how to even structure it, because that's honestly one of the hardest parts, is actually thinking about ideas and then processing them to be able to create it. Like, it's a lot. It's literally a lot. Let's talk analytics. So what I've learned through analytics is that people have the attention span of a TikTok. So you need to get their attention by whatever means necessary, if you know what I'm saying. You know, you got to do something weird, catch them off guard and keep their attention, because if you don't, they'll be gone and they will never come back, ever. They're going to float away into the ethers and you can never grip them again. The next thing I've learned is that niching down in the very beginning, you're always going to watch these YouTubers that are like, niche down, niche down. What are you going to niche down to in the beginning? Unless you literally right now know what you love full-heartedly and want to pursue that 100%, then how are you going to niche down? My goal with this whole channel is to help people reach their highest self and reach for that, whatever that looks like for them. Everybody's journey is different. But if that's my goal, how do I niche down for that? That is such a broad thing. But like, I know it's a niche where people want my hype and me to tell them they could do anything and help them manifest it. But like, what's that niche called? I don't know. So I'm throwing a bunch of things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then I'm going to figure it out from there. But honestly, yeah, before you niche down, try out a few things, because you might also realize, and something that I've realized is when you start niching down, you're going to realize, there's only so many videos I can make about this topic. Or before this topic becomes so far removed from who I am today as I was then, that it's not even relevant to me anymore. Like, these things are going to happen naturally. And if you're doing YouTube and you're creative, then you're already weird, and your brain already is probably a little bit like 10 ideas at once. So, throw a bunch of ideas at the wall, figure out what kind of sticks and which videos perform best, take what you did from those and keep producing. But as long as you stay consistent and post something, I feel like you can't lose. And you can't lose if you're doing it because you like it, because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, bro, like 0.04% of people on YouTube like are watched the most, with the most people that return. Like, it's such a small percentage of the number of people that are on. So like, why not like the journey at least a little bit, instead of hating yourself and just wanting to be famous or something? Like, that shouldn't be the goal. Like, how are you gonna help people, my guy? Make sure it's gonna transcend time, because if you aren't helping people to some capacity, or giving good advice, or leveling people up in some way, you're gonna feel like not doing this, because it's a lot of work. It really do be. So with being consistent, I also want to say that you need to be kind to yourself while you're being consistent, because I think a lot of us think that, oh, we're gonna get on this journey and I'm gonna get an A+ on every assignment on the way. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And you were never taught this stuff in school. Literally the entire time you were in school, technology was behind your teachers who were already older than you. So you didn't learn this. You don't know how. So if you don't know how, then you need to learn. So you need to be consistent, but also kind to yourself. If you miss a day and you need to post something the next day, or you need to like get back on the ball, be kind to yourself and compassionate. I mean, not too kind. You do have to tough love yourself a little bit. Like, don't just be that mom that's like, no, Timothy. And like the kid's like no one likes that person. But like, there's levels to it, right? Like, you don't need to be like in the bathroom being like, you're ugly and you're stupid and you're like, no. We need to have our internal voice being kinder to us than the external voice, because there's going to be a lot of external criticisms, especially from your friends who know you as this person. And quite frankly, when you're in front of a camera, like, you're gonna have a different persona, because that's what people do. Beyonce Sasha fierce when she's on the stage. She's not even Beyonce when she's on the freaking stage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is my stage, girl. Like, I'm gonna kind of be myself, but like the better elevated version. You think I look like this every day? I mean, I kind of do. Latina things. You're also going to have to try to drop your ego a little bit, which sounds really counterintuitive considering the fact that when you're creating content, like, it has a lot to do with building up your ego and creating an ego for people to attach themselves to be interested in what you're selling. But by dropping the ego, you're going to feel a lot better, because people have lots of comments to say and lots of thoughts that are in their mind, and they want to share them with others. And that's not really your problem. By dropping the ego, you're going to save yourself a lot of pain, really, is what it comes down to. So make sure to shed your ego a little bit before you embark on this journey, because if you think that you were that addicted to social media before and you're able to stay offline, like, this adds a whole new layer to it. I've never been one to really be on social media too much, but like, posting more means more feedback. And when you're in that feedback loop, like, it's a loop for a reason. It's a feedback loop for a reason, let me tell you. So get yourself out the feedback loop as much as possible. Make sure not to be online too much. I know, like, if you're trying to make money online, like, you do need to manage it and do it, but try not to be online too long. Check analytics once every so many days on certain platforms. Whatever you need to do to set some healthy boundaries, because, girl, healthy boundaries are so hot. They're so hot. So let's insert more of those in our lives, especially on the mental aspect, honestly, and the emotional aspect. Let's set more boundaries with those, definitely. On that note, I just want to say thank you so much for showing up to office hours today to get the playbook on what I've learned in the last 2 months. Our meeting's adjourned. I have to go feed my dogs. Honestly, no, I'm going to bed. Night. Take care. Au revoir. Toodaloo. Bye-bye. Adios. Ciao.